A retired couple stands in a Massachusetts parking lot at midnight, their car trunk packed with over $500,000 in freshly printed lottery tickets. They aren't the only ones involved. Behind them stands an entire extended family, 6 children, in-laws, and dozens of friends, all quietly invested in the same operation. Over 9 years, this family enterprise will win the lottery again, and again, and again, earning close to $27 million entirely within the law. This is the true story of how one man's math degree turned into a multi-generational family business built on a public lottery's own rulebook. How does a single retired couple's discovery turn into an operation involving their entire family and legally win the lottery over and over again? It begins in Evart, Michigan, with Jerry and Marge Selbee, 2 retirees who had just closed the doors on their small family party store. Jerry held a bachelor's degree in mathematics, earned decades earlier, mostly unused during a career spent behind a small-town store counter. In 2003, 3 years into retirement, Jerry picked up a brightly colored brochure for a new state lottery game called Windfall. Buried in the rules was an unusual clause. If the jackpot passed $5 million unclaimed, the money didn't roll over. It rolled down instead. Standing right there in the store aisle, Jerry did the math in his head. During a roll-down week, the odds quietly favored the player. He tested the theory quietly first, spending $3,600 on tickets, then spending hours sorting through every single one by hand. The results confirmed it. He won $6,300, a clean profit, exactly matching what his calculations had predicted. Only then did Jerry sit Marge down at their kitchen table and explain that he'd found a completely legal way to beat the lottery. Marge agreed to try it, but she had one condition. If they were going to do this, they would do it properly and do it together. The math demanded volume. To profit reliably, they needed to buy not hundreds of tickets during a roll-down, but tens of thousands at once. That kind of volume required real capital, far more than 2 retirees could comfortably risk entirely on their own savings. So Jerry did something unusual. He formed a legal corporation, GS Investment Strategies, and invited his family to formally invest in it. Shares cost $500 each. Their 6 adult children were among the very first family members to buy in. Grandchildren, in-laws, longtime friends, and former customers from their old store soon followed, each buying a small stake in the family venture. What started as one man's private math experiment had quietly become a genuine family business, with dozens of relatives now financially invested. Every roll-down week became a full family operation. Buy the tickets, sort every single one by hand, calculate winnings, distribute profits fairly. For a while, the Michigan operation ran beautifully, generating steady, predictable profits almost exactly as Jerry's original math had promised. Then, after roughly 18 months, Michigan's Lottery Commission quietly discontinued Windfall entirely, citing declining overall ticket sales. For most families, that would have ended the story right there. For the Selbees, it was simply a problem waiting to be solved. A friend soon mentioned something interesting. A nearly identical lottery game, Cash Windfall, had just launched almost 700 miles away in Massachusetts. Rather than give up, the family simply decided to start driving. Every roll-down week, someone made the long trip east together. They rented cheap motel rooms near the state line, close enough to reach retailers quickly, but far enough to stay under the radar. On the biggest weeks, the family would spend as much as $720,000 purchasing tickets across a single trip. That single trip could generate roughly 360,000 paper tickets, every one of which the family checked by hand together. Adult children took turns joining these trips, treating roll-down weekends almost like an unusual, highly profitable family reunion each time. Jerry personally cross-checked every winning number by hand, refusing to trust the final tally to anyone who hadn't been properly trained. Marge managed the logistics, motel bookings, shareholder payments, and the mountains of paperwork the family operation had accumulated over the years. The family wasn't alone in noticing the flaw. A group of students at MIT had independently discovered the exact same loophole for their own project. Neither group knew about the other at first, 2 completely separate operations quietly running the same legal math strategy in secret. For years, both operations ran quietly in parallel, generating steady profits, attracting almost no public attention or scrutiny at all. But as the sums involved grew larger, so did the risk that someone would eventually notice exactly what was happening. Massachusetts lottery officials had, in fact, noticed unusually large ticket purchases concentrated suspiciously around certain specific weeks. Internally, some officials debated whether these bulk buyers were exploiting the system unfairly or simply playing exactly by the published rules. Then, in 2011, journalists at the Boston Globe's Spotlight investigative team began asking pointed questions about the unusual sales patterns. Reporters discovered that a small number of groups, families, and students among them, dominated cash windfall's biggest weeks almost entirely. The story ran as a major public investigation, revealing for the first time just how much money these groups had quietly extracted from the game. Suddenly, the Selbee family's quiet math strategy became a national talking point, debated on news programs across the entire country. State officials launched a formal review, examining every rule, every purchase pattern, and every family or group involved in the strategy. The review's conclusion surprised many people who assumed something illegal must have obviously taken place behind the scenes. Investigators found no evidence of cheating, insider access, or rule breaking of any kind. Every ticket had been purchased through normal, public channels. The Selbee family, the MIT students, and every other group had simply done what almost no one else had bothered to do. They read the rules. Facing public scrutiny rather than any legal violation, Massachusetts officially discontinued cash windfall for good in the year 2012. The family played their very last roll-down week, that January, closing out 9 remarkable years of quiet, shared, legal profit. When the final numbers were tallied across nearly a decade, the family had grossed almost $27 million in total lottery winnings. After the enormous cost of tickets, travel, and logistics, their actual net profit came to roughly $7.75 million. That profit was carefully divided among every single shareholder in the family corporation, exactly as promised from the very beginning. Not one family member and not one MIT student ever faced a single criminal charge. There was simply nothing illegal to prosecute. The Selbee family's story quickly became a media sensation, celebrated as a rare, feel-good tale of ordinary people quietly outsmarting a system together. Their story was eventually adapted into a major motion picture, bringing their quiet Michigan family enterprise to movie screens worldwide. Jerry always insisted the real lesson wasn't about lottery tickets at all. It was about a family choosing to actually read the fine print together. Marge, for her part, always said the real reward wasn't the money, but 9 years of a shared project with the people she loved most. Their 6 children, now with families of their own, still tell the story at holiday dinners, half legend, half genuine family history. Today, Jerry uses a portion of the family's winnings to fund affordable housing projects for military veterans back home in Michigan. The windfall and cash windfall games are both gone now, quietly replaced by newer lottery formats specifically designed without roll-down flaws. Lottery commissions across the country now review their own rules far more carefully, aware that some family, somewhere, might read them just as closely. In the end, the Selbee family didn't beat the lottery through luck, deception, or any special insider access whatsoever. They beat it with a math degree, a kitchen table, and the simple willingness to trust each other with everything they had. $27 million, earned entirely within the rules, built not by one man alone, but by an entire family working together. 9 years, one family corporation, dozens of shareholders, and a math problem hiding quietly inside a brochure almost everyone else threw away. It remains one of the most unusual family businesses in American history, built entirely on arithmetic, patience, and trust. Every shareholder, from grandchildren to old family friends, walked away with a story most families could never have imagined telling. The lottery commission that once worried about being outsmarted eventually thanked the family publicly for exposing a flaw worth fixing. Jerry Selbee, now in his later years, still keeps a single framed lottery ticket from that very first winning week hanging on his wall. It isn't the biggest ticket the family ever won. It's simply the one that started everything, framed as a quiet family reminder.